Pada Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
நம்ம டிசைட் பண்ணோம்
Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hari Bol. Thank you. So welcome, last class. Okay, so everybody ready? It's going to be the last heavy chapter of the section. Okay, so we will learn a lot of things in this chapter. Devaki Nandana Krishna Gita Patena Tushyati Yatana Vede Danena Yajnati Tavrata Dibihi. The son of Devaki, the supreme personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, cannot be satisfied by anyone's study of the Vedas, charity, sacrifice, pilgrimage, or vows as much as he is satisfied by the devotional recitation of the Gita. Okay, so I welcome you to take darshan of Sri Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, Sri Sri Nitai Sundar Gaurahari, and Sri Sri Radha Shama Sundar, and all the Guru Parampara. I think this is Radhastami festival. So we have lots and lots of orchids, and those are all lotus flowers hanging. Okay, prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikna Vinasha Narsimha iti namine. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Gita Mahatmya, Ashwini Mataji, can I request you to read, please?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you.
Jayate satatam sakyam sarva jiva ganaye saha prarabdam bunjato vapi gita pyasa ratasya cha. A person who is devoted to studying the Gita acquires a friendly disposition to all living beings, despite his accruing the reactions of his previous actions in this world.
All right, thank you, Mataji. So those who are studying Bhagavad Gita, no matter how much karma that we have accumulated, we will develop an equal disposition, a friendly disposition to all living beings, because we understand that all the living beings are spirit soul and they are part and parcel of Krishna, God. Okay, so therefore we will view everybody equally. Okay, so before we enter the chapter, a little recap. In previous chapters, Krishna has described various systems. What systems those are? What Krishna explained. What systems are those? Got different names, right? What are those? What do you call that? Just tell me, what are the systems that Krishna gave from chapter 2 up to chapter until now? What do you call that? What is the name for the systems? So many systems Krishna gave. Anyone? What did we learn in chapter 3? Chapter 2? Chapter 3?
Yoga.
Yes, Krishna described various systems of yoga. So what are the yogas that you remember Krishna explained?
Bhakti yoga, karma
Okay.
yoga,
Karma yoga.
Karma yoga, bhakti yoga,
jnana yoga,
jnana yoga,
dhyana yoga,
dhyana yoga,
Sankhya yoga.
Sankhya yoga. Yes, chapter 2. Remember, analytical study of matter and spirit. Okay, so Krishna described various systems of yoga. So every time Krishna explains a yoga, how Krishna concludes the chapter? What does he do? What does he establishes? Every time. The supremacy of?
Of himself. Krishna.
Okay. I mean,
Supremacy of devotional service.
very good. Yes, supremacy of Bhakti Yoga is established. So in this chapter, in this final chapter, this chapter 18 is actually a big summary that Krishna is giving. That's what I'm saying. He's a great teacher. Already in chapter 2, he has given overview of the entire Bhagavad Gita. And after he explained everything, and he's going to give the summary of Bhagavad Gita. So again, here Krishna is going to give an overview of Bhagavad Gita compared to what he has given in chapter 2. Okay, you will see how. And then Krishna will express, of course, Krishna will touch on few more items under 3 modes. So after that, Krishna is going to stress on bhakti. On top of everything, he's going to stress on this. And he will talk about how a loving surrender is the ultimate goal of life. Loving surrender, not in fear or awe and reverence. Okay, it's a loving surrender. And then remember all those knowledge Krishna gave to Arjuna, that renunciation in work is better than renunciation of work. So Krishna is going to reiterate that in this chapter. Okay, Krishna reiterates that Arjuna should renounce the fruits of work, not the work itself. Why? Dutiful detached work is true renunciation, which brings no reaction. Do your duty, detach from the fruits. Okay, that is the true renunciation, because that's what will not give us reactions. So with that, we are entering chapter 18. Actually, Krishna already completed the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so this is a summary of what he has taught. Okay, so usually we want conclusion, summary, recaps, and crash course. All right, so Krishna's understanding, so he's giving us that. Now chapter 18, text 18 to 40, bulk of chapter. Okay, total there are how many slokas? I think 78 slokas in chapter 18. This is one of the longest chapter. Chapter 2, chapter 13, chapter 18 is the one of the longest chapters. Okay, so here Krishna is going to continue on describing 3 modes. Okay, for few more items. It's going to give knowledge in 3 modes, work in 3 modes, worker in 3 modes, intelligence and understanding in 3 modes, determination in 3 modes, and happiness in 3 modes. But due to time constraint, we will not cover all of this. We will cover only knowledge and happiness today. In level 2, actually, we will cover work, worker, and determination, if I'm not mistaken. So, but we will not cover. Why I'm putting it this here is because it's very important if you want to read on. So please go and read just the translation. If you need explanation, then you can read Prabhupada's purport. So the reason I'm putting it here, because I want you to know what is inside chapter 18. Okay, so please go and read, because we want to know, because we are working, right? So we want to know what are the 3 modes that we are working, and we want to know what kind of worker we are, and then the intelligence, understanding which mode are we falling, and determination also got 3 modes. Okay, so please read that. I would request that. Okay, so you're only covering these 2, yeah. So this is a very big conclusion, which is chapter 18. It's the title of the chapter 18 itself is conclusion. Okay, so this is to emphasize the goal of surrender to Krishna. Krishna is bringing in the essence of previous chapters, and he's putting it in this final chapter. So he will begin his summary. Actually, he's going to begin his summary by talking about renouncing the fruit of work. Okay, not the work itself, but we won't cover that. Okay, we will cover other things. And then Krishna will say, dutiful detached work brings no reaction. So like I said, we will cover knowledge and happiness in 3 modes. Krishna will summarize again what is knowledge, confidential knowledge, confidential, more confidential, and most confidential knowledge. Okay, and Krishna is going to go on, talk about glories of Bhagavad Gita, those who speak and hear and share. That's the glorification, the benediction for people who hear and teach Bhagavad Gita and share. And then the ultimate conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, which is the unconditional loving surrender unto Lord Krishna. Unconditional means you surrender by not expecting any reward. There is no condition. Krishna, I will surrender to you if you give me this. You give me that, I will break this many coconuts for you, or I will pay this much of money for you. So we don't do this kind of business dealings. So it should be unconditional loving surrender. And that loving surrender will free one from all sins and gives us complete enlightenment. And finally, we all want to go back to where we came from. Remember, the spiritual world is 3/4 of the entire creation. We are stuck in the 1/4, the quarter of the part of the entire creation. Okay, so what was the topic in chapter 2? Chapter 2.
The content of Gita.
Okay, what is the content of Gita summarized? What did we learn in chapter 2? What is the first knowledge that Krishna gave Arjuna? We are doing summary now. I hope you all remember.
Sankhya Yoga.
Okay, what is that Sankhya Yoga? What is that study? What study is that?
Study of the
Sankhya-
body. Soul.
Hmm?
Study of the body and the soul.
Okay, that we are all spirit souls. So that is a knowledge that Krishna gave. First knowledge that Krishna gave. Okay, we are spirit soul. All right, so we will do now the knowledge in 3 modes. Okay, so Kartini Mataji, are you there with your Bhagavad Gita?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji, so you go one by one, yeah, then I'll explain.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna, text 20. That knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities, though they are divided into innumerable forms, you should understand to be in the mode of goodness.
Okay, so thank you, Mataji. So what is it actually telling? What is the essence of this knowledge in the mode of goodness? How do you interpret this? One undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities. What does it imply? Anyone?
Is it Paramatma?
Okay, so can you elaborate that, Prabhu? What does this line actually is implying?
You see everybody as Paramatma.
As Paramatma?
There's a Paramatma
Paramatma in
inside
everyone.
everyone, so all living being is equal, should be equally seen.
Okay, so how do you actually see the living beings?
Equally.
Okay, in what sense?
In the super soul sense?
No.
Or living as a
As spirit souls,
Oh.
not as body, all right? Not as Paramatma as well, all right? But we know that Paramatma is residing in everybody's heart without discrimination. So therefore, we have to see everybody equally as well. Paramatma is sitting in their heart and we are viewing them as spirit soul, not as body. Okay, bodily identification, no. Okay, so knowledge and goodness is to understand one undivided spirit soul in all. Okay, all are part and parcel. Okay, next one, Mataji, passion.
text 21, that knowledge by which one sees that in every different body, there is a different type of living entity that you should understand to be in the mode of passion.
Okay, so this actually shows opposite of what I mentioned earlier. Okay, if the knowledge and mode of goodness is seeing everybody as spirit soul, the same spirit soul is present in everybody's body. In passion, in the mode of passion, we see different people have different soul, or different people have different consciousness, or when the body is destroyed, the consciousness is destroyed. So this is all knowledge in the mode of passion. And then just because people have different kind of consciousness, we say that they are different. Okay, so basically they are the same. And then that they believe that the body is the soul and then the consciousness is temporary. So all this knowledge is knowledge in the mode of passion. Okay, so that means we are making distinction and making and seeing the different kind of living entities differently. Okay, so we shouldn't do that. Okay, ignorance, Mataji.
Text 22, and that knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all, without knowledge of the truth, and which is very major, is said to be in the mode of darkness.
Okay, so knowledge in the mode of goodness is being over attached to one work. Okay, so one is that, and then they have no knowledge about any truth, and this is the knowledge of a common man. All right, and they do not develop the knowledge because the knowledge is very limited to their bodily conceptions. So they do not develop their knowledge by approaching authorities or scriptures. Okay, for them, God is money, money is God, and as long there is knowledge to fulfill the needs of their bodily demand, that is okay. So they don't want to have any connection with absolute truth. Okay, so in this case, they are not so much different from ordinary animals. Okay, only difference is that we are polished animals. That's all. Animals using claws and teeth to eat, we are using fork and spoon to eat. So that's the only difference. Okay, so the conclusion of this knowledge is that we are not the body. Okay, this is the confidential knowledge. Okay, later on, Krishna talk about more confidential and most confidential. Okay, the confidential knowledge is that we are the spirit soul. So this is the knowledge, all right? Okay, so this is the knowledge. Now we are going into happiness in 3 modes. Pushpa Mala Mataji. Can you read this and then we will go to the summary?
Okay. Just read it from here, Mataji.
Yes.
Krishna. Happiness, Sukham in 3 modes. O best of the Bharatas, now please hear from me about the 3 kinds of happiness by which the conditioned soul enjoys and by which he sometimes comes to the end of all distress.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. All right, so basically as conditioned soul, why I say conditioned soul? Because we are spirits, pure spirit soul. We have come into this, we have embodied, okay, we are embodied means we have body. All right, so we always try to enjoy material happiness again and again. So this is called chewing the chewed. Okay, so in the course of our enjoyment, sometimes we feel like we are being relieved by material entanglements, but that is not permanent. Okay, so sometimes we get association of great souls, and then we try to weigh our we try to carve our spiritual path. All right, however, as we always engage in activities that involve sense gratification, and this is going to be repetitive. Okay, this happiness distress is going to keep coming back like appearance and disappearance of summer and winter season. Okay, sekejap happy, sekejap distress, sekejap happy, sekejap distress. So you can never find happiness throughout. And also good news is that you don't feel distress throughout. Okay, as happiness is temporary, distress is also temporary. All right, so when we come into contact of a good spiritual master or elevated souls, our knowledge is awakened, our original consciousness is awakened, and then we will work something on this temporary happiness to achieve it permanently. Okay, all right, so now we go into the happiness in 3 modes. Okay, Mataji, you can go one by one, then I will explain. Yes.
Text 37. Okay. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness.
Okay, thank you. So it is said, okay, now Krishna is explaining happiness in different modes of nature, 3 modes. In the beginning, this happiness, this kind of activity, which gives us happiness in the mode of goodness, it may look like poisonous in the beginning, but it will give you a nectar at the end. So just like, when we have to study so hard for exam, or do something really hard so that we can enjoy some comfort later, is initially you'll feel like poison. We have to wake up so early, have to go to school, have to do homework, this and that. But why we are doing this? So that we can land ourselves with good job, good salary, comfortable life. So we want to do that. Okay, so similarly, anything that's like a long-term, speaking in long-term sense, right? So in happiness in mode of goodness, you can feel like, waking up early in the morning is so difficult, have to take a cold shower. So all this like poisonous in the beginning, but cold shower is good for the skin, good for the hair, good for the spirit, that kind of thing. All right. So in the beginning, it will be like poison, but in the end, it's nectar. All right, why? Because it tastes like poison, because there'll be lots of rules and regulations. All this is to control the mind and senses. That's why it will feel like bitter, like poison. However, eventually there will be success, transcendental realization, and all this will be nectarian for us later. And then eventually it will awaken one to self-realization. Okay. And this kind of happiness in the mode of goodness brings the true joy and destroys the sorrow. Okay, so passion, Mataji.
Passion, which is text 37. That happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects and which appears like nectar at first, but poison at the end, is said to be of the nature of passion.
Okay, so this is totally opposite of what we actually described earlier. Okay, this kind of happiness, it comes from contact of the senses with your objects, so all the enjoyments. All right, it will be like a nectar in the beginning, but later will be poison at the end. So what was the example that we discussed in chapter 14? Initially it'd be like so nice, but later on it'd be so distressful, full of miseries. What was the example like? Okay, let's use that education example again. All right, so we want to enjoy, we don't want to study, okay, ponteng class, but when it comes to exam, misery, fail, and then have to face the wrath and the rage of our parents. So that is it. Okay, so you can apply that for spiritual life as well. Now we want to enjoy. People want to say that let's enjoy, human life is only one, we live only once. Okay, but you don't know. When you have this knowledge, then you will know you did not live once, you have lived unlimited times. Okay, so we have to make a change. Okay, next, ignorance, Mataji.
Text 39. And that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be of the nature of ignorance.
Okay, so the other activities, the activities are like sleep, laziness, illusion, or intoxication. So these kind of activities, it's from the beginning not happy. It's giving us unhappiness from the beginning until the end. And these are the activities by people who are totally blind to self-realization. Okay, so it comes from sleep and laziness. All right, so it's delusional from beginning to end, and they have no idea how to act, how not to act. Okay, so you can bring in all this information. This is all in the mode of ignorance. Okay, so there is a difference between passion and ignorance. Okay, the difference here is that in mode of passion, you may have some sort of happiness in the beginning, later it'll become distress or misery. Sometimes it also ends up in frustrations, disappointments. Okay, but in ignorance, it is said that the distress is there from the beginning until the end. Okay, a person who is involved in drug forever is in distress. Okay, forever he'll be a victim of addiction. Okay, so this is totally being happy in the mode of ignorance. They don't know what are they happy about. Okay, so that's a sad. All right, so there are big differences even among the happinesses in three modes. Okay, so next time when we are happy, we have to see why we are feeling happy. Okay, all right. So it shows that the modes control all activities. So this is a conclusion, yeah, on the three modes. So we will not go into three modes after this anymore. Among all the things made of the three gunas, those in the mode of goodness should be accepted because they alone are useful. They are the only one that's going to bring us, they're going to elevate us. Those things in the lower modes should be rejected. So we always go back to your Bhagavad Gita, look at this PowerPoint slides, that's a checklist. So we can always reflect and realize, introspect, right? That's the right word, introspect and check. Okay, so the first knowledge was confidential knowledge. What was the knowledge about? Do you all remember? We just
Spirit soul.
Yeah, spirit soul. The next one is more confidential knowledge, where we realize the Paramatma in the heart and we surrender to the super soul. This is more confidential knowledge, meaning after understanding the self as soul, we understand that we are actually a spark of the supreme Brahman. We are Brahman, small Brahman. Krishna is the supreme Brahman. All right. And now we are part of that, and Krishna resides in our heart as Paramatma. Paramatma is also Brahman, but he is superior to us. Okay, so now Krishna is going to give us a revision on the more confidential knowledge. 61 to 63, Jai Silam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wandering of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of material energy. O scion of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and supreme and eternal abode. Thus, I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully and then do what you wish to do.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So we have few points, so please pay attention. So here Krishna declares that the Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart. Okay, so this one he's talking about Paramatma. And then look at the next line, that he's directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine. Okay, this is the machine and he's seated on it. Okay, and I mean, we are driving the body and Krishna is directing it. Okay, now do you remember which role that Krishna is playing here? This is from chapter, I forgot. Maintainer. Which chapter is that? 15, right? As a maintainer, what does Krishna do at personal level? Yes, Purushottama Yoga, correct. What does Krishna do? How does he maintain? He maintains two levels, right? Cosmic level and personal level. So this is referring to the personal level. And what does he do?
Seated in the hearts.
Become a
Him
director.
come.
Okay, sorry, he initiates activities. Okay, that the third one. He initiates activities. What are those three activities?
Remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness.
Yeah, is that three? Remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness?
Knowledge and forgetfulness.
Knowledge, huh? Okay, I also can't recall, sorry. What verse is that?
15.15, I think.
Yes, so good. Yes, Mataji, remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. All right, so can you see, this is how we tie the information, and that's how you will remember. He's directing the wanderings of the all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. All right, and Krishna is giving an instruction here, surrender unto him utterly. Right, so this chapter 18 is about surrender. Okay, what is the next point here? You will attain transcendental peace, the supreme and eternal abode. Okay, param shantim. Shanti means peace, param means supreme. Okay, next. Okay, Krishna is concluding here that I have explained to you the more confidential knowledge about the super soul. Now, Krishna has explained a lot of things from chapter 2 up to now. Okay, and he has given directions like, if you do this, you will get this. If you do this, you will get that. And then Krishna, of course, gives suggestions, recommendations, and he says, this is my opinion. But despite giving all of that, he says, now deliberate on this fully and then do what you wish to do. So you can see here, Krishna is still being very kind and giving us, Arjuna rather, his free will to do what he likes to do. He is not forcing anybody, you must do this. He never says that. Okay, so this is the very nice sloka where, okay, Krishna asked me to do whatever I wish to do, so I can do whatever I wish to do. So let's see how Arjuna realizes this and then what Arjuna is going to do. Okay, so the point of this sloka is Supreme Lord is the master and puppeteer because he's directing us. All right, and he's recommending us to surrender unto him. So this part, do what you wish to do, very important, this one. And then we have done confidential knowledge, we have more confidential knowledge, and we're going to have most confidential knowledge. The most confidential knowledge here is that surrendering to Lord Krishna. This is very direct. So earlier we realized that we are spirit souls, we are part and parcel of Krishna, and then more confidential knowledge that we have to realize the Paramatma is sitting in our heart. And the most confidential knowledge is that we have to surrender to Krishna in the form of Bhagavan. Okay. So this is most confidential knowledge. 18.64, Brinda Mataji.
Because you are my friend, because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So to put that in perspective, right, again, so we have 3 levels of understanding of God. Okay, can you all tell me what are those 3? So today, last day, I'm going to ask you all questions on this, okay? After this,
Brahman, Paramatma,
Well,
Bhagavan.
yes. So as Brahman, okay, Krishna is present everywhere. His energy is spread everywhere. So the spirit soul is present in everybody's body. So that's his energy. Okay, that is confidential knowledge. Now, more confidential knowledge, Paramatma level. The most confidential knowledge is Bhagavan level. So that's how we are progressing currently. Okay, so we have done happiness, we have done knowledge, and now we are going through different level of spiritual knowledge. Confidential, more confidential, and most confidential. Okay, so now Krishna is going to give the essence of Bhagavad Gita, which is the most confidential knowledge. Again, remember, there were two qualifications Krishna mentioned in the past. What are those two qualifications that Krishna is indicating because he's giving this knowledge? People with these two qualifications, what are those? One is given here already. One more, do you all remember?
Devotee.
Okay. What are the two qualities that Arjuna has, and Krishna actually highlighted that?
His good nature, his
No.
divine quality.
No. Remember, whenever Krishna gives like this, right? I'm going to speak to you confidential knowledge because you are this. And because you are this, I'm going to give you this knowledge. He says that 2 times. This dear friend, he mentioned 2 times. And that word, the one I'm looking for, he mentioned once. And that is the reason why we also fell down from spiritual world. What is that? It starts with E.
Prata, is it?
Sorry, Mataji?
Is it Prata or something like that?
No, that Partha, that's the mother's name. No, not that. When somebody has something better than us, what do we feel?
Envious.
Yes, you remember or not these 2 qualities? Why? Enviousness. All right, because Arjuna is free from envy, and because Arjuna is Krishna's very dear friend, Krishna gives this knowledge. Okay. All right. So this is the essence of Bhagavad Gita that Krishna is giving now. Pushpa Mataji. Mataji, mute, unmute.
Abandon all varieties. Okay. 65, is it?
65 and 66, yes.
Okay. Always think of me. Become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my dear friend. That's 65. Now text 66 is abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear.
Okay, so if you look at this, thank you, Mataji. If you look at this verse, right, does it ring a bell that we would have seen something similar to this verse previously? Param Prabhu, do you remember? Because when I asked the question, you answered it. What are the 4 things?
4 things?
Yeah, the 4 activities that devotees do, the most confidential knowledge. Only one word is differing from here. Otherwise,
Worship,
everything is same.
worship Krishna.
Okay.
Think of him all the time.
Okay.
And
Only one word here. It is used. Okay, worship is here. Okay, offer your homage.
Homage unto me.
Okay, instead of homage, the homage is appearing in 18.65. But in earlier chapter, this homage was a different thing. No, what else, Prabhu? I remember you mentioned this. Nobody could get it, and then you answered it. Offer your homage. But earlier, it was a different word. Namaskuru, what is that?
Obeisances?
Yeah, who can tell me what verse is that?
Yeah,
It's chapter 9. Chapter 9. Who can find it? I found already. So who can?
9.34.
Wow, very fast, Mataji. Can you read that?
Read the whole thing.
Yeah, the English. The chapter is the most confidential knowledge. This is what Krishna has summarized. He's doing a revision here. So not only I'm doing revision, Krishna is also doing revision.
Engage your mind, Krishna. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Offer obeisances. And
Are you missing something, Mataji?
worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, sure. Am I reading it correctly? Being completely absorbed in me, surely you'll come to me.
Can you read that again, Mataji? Engage your mind.
Engage your mind, always thinking of me. Offer obeisances and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you'll come to me.
Oh, okay. Because the version that I have here.
Mataji, I have the old Bhagavad Gita as it is.
Can you read your version, Mataji? It shouldn't change much.
This is the Bhagavad Gita as it is, the old one, Prabhupada's one.
Okay, I think that would be different because along the way.
Yeah, there's more verses inside. So see, this has copyright.
Can you read that, Mataji, your version?
Okay, all right. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Offer obeisances and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me.
Okay, actually, it should be engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisance to me and worship me. Because if you look at the word-to-word translation, mat mana means always thinking of me. Bhava mad bhakto means become my devotee. So that is the word-to-word translation that should appear in the translation. So I have two versions here and I have that become my devotee. So I'm not sure why. Pushpa Mataji, your later, can you snap the photo of the book and send to me, Mataji? Can? You just ordered the book, right?
Okay, no problem, Mataji.
Okay.
So I got it from his corner.
The one that we recently ordered and delivered to you, right? Or is it old version?
Old version, Mataji.
I think
I've not got the new version yet.
Oh, I see. Okay, then I understand. So the new version will have the word-to-word translation reflected in the full translation. So in 9.34, it's exactly the same. The only word will change is this, offer your homage. So earlier was namaskuru, obeisance. Okay, so anyways, you can see that Krishna is doing a revision here. And then thus you will come to me without fail. And what does it say here? Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. All right. And here he's giving that promise extra here. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Priyo sime, pratijani priyo sime. Priyo means loving, dear. All right. So that's one. Now 18.66 is the very, very important sloka in the entire Bhagavad Gita. Abandon. Krishna has mentioned so many systems and so many modes, so many activities, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do this, something like that. Later on, Krishna says, abandon everything, just forget everything and just surrender unto me. Why the stress? Okay, just abandon everything, just surrender unto me, basically perform devotional service to me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Remember, pure devotional service burns all the karmas and nullifies all the karma, which is the main reason why we are keep coming back here. And then on top of that, he says, do not fear. Ma suchaha, moksha ishyami. I will deliver you, moksha. Okay, I will deliver you. I will liberate you. Don't fear. So Krishna always gives this kind of assurance. So again, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage unto me. And then next one is abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto me. Do not fear. Okay, so this is a very famous verse. Okay, and we have to understand that Krishna has mentioned, this is important because Krishna mentioned this verse twice. All right. Okay, so let's go again. What was the first knowledge that we learned? Krishna summarized again. in chapter 18? What was the first knowledge?
Spirit soul.
So what knowledge? What do we call that?
We should treat all equal.
Okay. So I mean, there are three kinds of knowledge, right?
Knowledge of goodness. Knowledge of
Confidential knowledge. Okay, what is the confidential? Okay, after confidential knowledge,
More confidential.
more confidential knowledge. After that,
Most confidential.
most confidential knowledge. So, how do you categorize these three? Understanding God in different aspects. How is that?
You understand, because of this, the factory managers needs
Importance.
Okay, this is what realization? Confidential knowledge that we are all spirit soul. Okay, what realization is that? That Krishna pervades the entire creation as Brahman, and I mean that is the Brahman realization. Okay, we are small Brahman, Krishna is supreme Brahman. Okay, so that is the understanding. That is the beginning of the understanding God from Brahman level. So I hope you all get that flow, right? What is Brahman? What is Paramatma? What is Bhagavan? Okay, so confidential knowledge is about us being spirit souls, and that is how Krishna pervades entire creation as Brahman.
Paramatma.
Okay, now more confidential knowledge is surrendering to whom?
To Krishna.
The super soul.
Super soul.
Yeah, of course, it's all Krishna, but there are different levels of understanding. So this
Bhagwan.
is Paramatma.
Yeah,
Surrendering
Paramatma.
super soul. Okay, the next one, most confidential knowledge. What realization?
Bhagwan.
Bhagavan realization, surrendering to Krishna directly. Okay, not through energy, not through the Lord inside the heart, but externally we are doing service for Krishna. Personal relationship. Okay. All right, so we are done with that. And then we are going into 18.68. This is the glories of studying and teaching Bhagavad Gita. Sam Prabhu.
For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed.
Just hang on, Prabhu. The mic is noisy. Somebody's mic is noisy, so please check. Sorry, Prabhu. Could you repeat from the beginning? Sorry.
Sure. Okay, Astara. For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come back to me. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. And one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell.
All right. Thank you, Prabhu. So we have 4 verses here in one slide, 68, 69, 70, 71. So here, Krishna, earlier Krishna already said that we should be brave. We have to have faith in Lord Krishna. That is surrender. Okay. And starting with 68, Krishna is encouraging that everyone must learn Bhagavad Gita and then explain to other people. All right. So in this way, you are sure to go back to Godhead. He says here, he will come back to me. Guarantee, pure devotion is guaranteed. Where do we perform this pure devotion service? In the spiritual world, okay? Because the devotional service that we are doing on this material planet here can be contaminated, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have effect at all. It's just like fire covered by smoke. Okay, that is also a part of chapter 18, which we are not covering. So there may be some flaws, okay, but however, the purity of the fire is still there. Just because the smoke is covering it, it doesn't mean the fire has reduced potency. No, the heat and light is always there. Okay, so now when we want to be facing Krishna, we have to perform pure devotional service. All right, and Krishna is guaranteeing here, if you explain this to others, okay, tomorrow you're going to explain to your colleagues or your family members or your cousins, your friends, pure devotional service is guaranteed eventually. And where you perform that? you have to perform on the spiritual world. And that's why Krishna is giving the promise here. At the end, he will come back to me. Okay, so we want to be dear to Krishna. We want to have intimate connections with Krishna. So we teach the Bhagavad Gita to others. Okay, this is the easiest way. All right, no money is involved, just your energy only. That's all. All right, 68, 69. Krishna says, this is not ordinary this is 70s. Okay, that is 68 and 69. Now Krishna says we have to be dear to him. All right. Okay, next is 68, 69, 70. So this is not an ordinary conversation. What conversation is this? What kind of conversation is this?
Intelligent.
Most confidential.
Intelligent conversation.
Sacred.
Secret.
Sini sudah ada. Okay, sacred conversation, not ordinary conversation. Okay, sometimes we meet people, we talk Gramya Katha. All right, we talk village talk. So this is called Gramya Katha. So this is not Gramya Katha. Okay, this is not gossips or news or tabloids. Okay, so this is spiritual talk, transcendental talk, sacred conversation, and they worship him by his intelligence. A person worships Krishna by his intelligence, not through sentimentalism, not through emotions, not through blind faith, and not through fanatism. Okay, with intelligence. Okay, so it is sometimes people see this devotional service, prayers, spiritual life, they look at it as a weakness. Actually, it's not. All right. Okay, to understand the Bhagavad Gita, it doesn't take one round. You have to do few rounds to understand. So which means this is a very high level of knowledge. Okay, so we have to understand it with guidance, and that also not only once. You have to do few times. Okay, so that's that. And then finally, 71, who listens with faith. Yeah, this is also important. Okay, we are not listening just like how we listen podcasts or anything. Listens with faith and without envy. And that's how we will be free from sinful reactions. Okay, so this from Bhagavad Gita, you know already that you have taken unlimited lives, and we don't know the karma that we are suffering now. We don't know from which life. You'll be thinking, all my life I have been so virtuous and I'm following everything righteously. Where from I'm getting this bad karma? Because the karma has been accumulated from many lives previously. So we want to get rid of that and then attain to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. Okay, so what are the things that Krishna is promising here? Can we go through that? Can you please tell me? From 68 to 71. What Krishna is promising?
He will come back to me.
If you explain to others with pure devotion, you'll come back to me.
Okay, Krishna here guaranteeing pure devotional service. And then what else Krishna says? Those who share the knowledge, what Krishna says about them?
You'll go back to him.
Okay, after that?
Will attain to auspicious planet.
Oh, okay. Before that, I'm going one by one.
Oh, he is more dear to me than anyone.
Yes, Krishna says they are very dear to him. And then what happens to them? What do they do?
They attain auspicious planets.
Belum.
Yeah.
He who studies this sacred
conversation.
conversation.
Yep.
Worships me by his intelligence.
Yes, worship me by intelligence. And then what is the result?
Free from sinful reaction.
Yes, free from sinful reactions. Okay, finally?
Attains the auspicious planet.
Okay, so can you remember? Okay, so tomorrow probably your friends ask, hey, 18 days where you went disappeared, I learned Bhagavad Gita. Why? What do you learn in Bhagavad Gita? Then you can talk about the 5 topics: Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Karma, and Kala. And then at the end, so what did you learn? So all this, what is the benefit of learning Bhagavad Gita? Then you can tell all these 4 things. Summary, beginning and ending, finish already. You can give crash course to them in 1 minute. Okay, so benediction for the teacher and preacher. Okay, you also can be a teacher, so don't worry. This is, oh, I'm not like Kasthuri Mataji, I cannot. No, it's all from your heart. What you have felt, what you have realized, that you share. That's about it. It's just like you buy a soap and then you try it on yourself, and I think my skin is so good now, why don't you use it? Just like that only, very simple. Okay, and by selling, so probably you are helping them, but by giving Bhagavad Gita, you are actually taking them to spiritual world and you also going. Okay, so permanent effect. Okay, so now coming to the end, this is the best part. I love this part. So now Arjuna is speaking about his realizations. Okay, a good teacher, after teaching, what do you ask your students at the end of the class?
Do you understand? Objective.
Mataji, you already opened the book, is it? This is purely your nature. Is this how you do? Do you?
Not exactly.
Anybody else here teachers?
I don't teach, but I think I always ask, do you understand?
Correct. As a parent, you do that, right? Especially now, Prabhu, your kids are so young. You are teaching them, do you understand? All right, so you do that, right? Okay, same thing, Krishna is doing that. Let's see what Krishna is asking. Push, Mataji.
O son of Partha, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind? And are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled?
Okay, so Lord Krishna is asking, if there is anything you didn't understand, tell me and I will repeat. So this is how the acharyas explain, because that is why Krishna, why would you ask somebody, do you understand? Are you clear now? Because you are actually ready that if you don't understand, then you are going to explain again. Otherwise, oh, you don't understand now? Okay, that's it, full stop. No, right? The reason why you're asking, like Sam Prabhu asking children, because when they say, I don't know, Papa, I don't understand, then the father has to explain again. So that is the purpose you ask the question. All right. Okay, so Krishna is ready to repeat. He is so kind. All right. And he said, I will tell you the whole Bhagavad Gita again if you want. Okay. Of course, Arjuna is a very intelligent person. He could understand the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Like I mentioned, we have to, but that is Arjuna, right? But here we have to hear Bhagavad Gita many times before we could begin to understand it. So I'm not saying that in these 18 days, there's no hope that you would have, understood things fully. All right. That is why we have given only the prominent verses. At least okay, there is this information. I remember in the class, maybe I just have to go and dig it again. All right. So that is the idea. That is the purpose you are in this 18 days. So at least you know what is inside there. Even you don't study the 100 pages of guideline, at least you look at the content. Oh, okay. In future, if I want to have this reference, then I know where to go. You don't have to look for anything else. All right. So the Bhagavad Gita is beautiful as that. All right. You can find everything from outside in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, whatever you see outside, you will know and you will realize one day that it's all in Bhagavad Gita. And then on top of that, you will also realize that Bhagavad Gita has some things that you can't find outside. This is seriously, I'm telling from my personal point of view as well, my personal experience as well. So that is why I don't really go out look for extra books. Okay, and if you look at it, all these modern philosophers, modern gurus, you will see somehow whatever they are saying, the fundamental thing, the foundation thing is in Bhagavad Gita already, because they are new, they are later people, right? And this is timeless. So you will see that sounds like something like Krishna has said. So when I check, oh yeah, it's from here, like that, you will realize that. So again, I'm saying you will find everything that is outside in Bhagavad Gita, and you'll also find things are not outside in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so now Krishna is asking this question as a spiritual master. It is his duty to know if Arjuna understood the Bhagavad Gita in proper perspective. Okay, all right. So what is the result of hearing? Why Krishna is asking this? What is he checking actually? Ashwini Mataji, what do you think? Why Krishna is asking this question? What is he trying to ensure here?
That Arjuna have no more illusion about what he thinks.
Can you repeat that, Prabhu? I think you are there.
He wants to know from Arjuna whether his ignorance and illusion still there after he heard the Bhagavad Gita explained.
Very good. That is why Krishna is asking, is your ignorance and illusion dispelled? Because he knows Arjuna started by giving so much of a different perspective, different opinions, okay, different arguments. So all that could be because of ignorance and illusion. So Krishna wants to make sure that all these have been cleared. So, all right. So this is expected. Okay, a guru, a teacher should ask this question. Okay, now Krishna asked the question, are you clear now? Okay, this is how I also, when I ask questions to my spiritual master, he will ask next day, are you clear? Do you understand? Or sometimes he'll make the answer very simplified. Okay, so that's how kind they are. Now Krishna, Arjuna is telling his realization. 73, Yamuna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt and am prepared to act according to your instructions.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So remember, Krishna asked earlier, told Arjuna earlier, to deliberate on this fully and do what you wish to do. Okay, so Arjuna was like, okay, I'm going to do whatever I wish to do. I'm still going to run away to a mountain, and I want to renounce. I don't want to kill and stain my hand with blood. Arjuna did not do that, and Arjuna also didn't say, okay, this is what I feel like doing. He also didn't say that. So what Krishna said, what Arjuna said. What was Arjuna's answer here?
He's firm and free from doubt.
Okay. What is ultimately Arjuna going to do now? Is he going to do things that as he wish?
He can
Prepared to do according to Krishna's.
Yes. Okay, so let's go through. Yeah, correct. Okay, so let's go through this. So can you explain the process that Arjuna is, can we list down the realization of Arjuna? Can we go one by one? What he says?
Illusion gone.
Okay, first, illusion is now gone, because this is what Arjuna Krishna was checking earlier. Next.
You understand that this is his duty now.
Regain my memory. Okay. Yes, very good.
I'm free, firm and free from doubt.
Firm and free from doubt. Okay, the SSD all counted already. All right.
Ready to act accordingly.
To act according to your instructions.
According to your instructions. That is the surrender that Arjuna is realizing. That is a surrender. Okay, Arjuna, Krishna, you are the one who said I can do whatever I wish to do. Right. So it is not about what I wish to do. It's about what you wish to do, Krishna. So like that. Okay. Karishye vachanam tava. This one. I'm going to act according to your instruction. Okay, so when he says I got my memory back, it's because he have forgotten that all the living beings are spirit souls. Okay, when they are killed or died, only the body will perish, but not the spirit soul. So that's how he says I regain my memory. Okay, now we are done with Arjuna's realization. How this entire Bhagavad Gita started? I mean, our study, how it started.
What are my sons and the sons of Pandu doing in the Kurukshetra?
Yes, so conversation between
Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya.
Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya.
Yes, Kurukshetra, yeah, Dharmashetra, Kurukshetra. What's happening in the Kurukshetra? So now we're going to see realization of Sanjaya, and that will conclude the Bhagavad Gita because he is the narrator here. Okay, so we need somebody to read from text 74 to 77 because the slide has 78 only. And I find that 74 to 77 is really powerful verses that we must read. Who wants to read? Who has not read today? Do you have Bhagavad Gita in your hand? Kaya Mataji, are you working? Oh, you don't have Bhagavad Gita in your hand? Suhasri, do you have Bhagavad Gita?
I don't have the Bhagavad Gita with me right now.
Okay. Okay, who else? Siapa? Param Prabhu, do you have Bhagavad Gita in your hand?
No, haven't found it yet.
Oh, you haven't ordered a Prabhu class also sudah habis.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. I want Haridas Pushpa Mataji. Are you there, Mataji? Do you have Bhagavad Gita in your hand?
Mine is the old one.
Oh, okay. No. I think then we.
Yeah, I think better ask
That's
someone
all
else.
right. Okay,
73
Yamuna
lah, Mataji,
Mataji.
Azhari.
Sam Prabhu. Okay, can.
73, right?
Yes, 74, 75, 76, 77.
Okay.
Slowly,
70
slowly, Prabhu.
Okay. 74. Sanjaya said, thus I have heard the conversation of two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna, and so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end. 75. By mercy of Vyasa, I have heard these most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna. 76. O king, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure, being thrilled at every moment. 77. O king, as I remember from the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, I am struck with wonder more and more, and I rejoice again and again.
Right. Okay, now we will continue with verse 78. This will conclude the Bhagavad Gita 78. Janani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay, this is realization of Sanjaya.
Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and the morality. That is my opinion.
Yes, so thank you, Mataji. So finally, Sanjaya is giving an opinion why Dhritarashtra asked Sanjaya to describe what is happening in Battle of Kurukshetra. Why? Because he wants to know whether these Pandavas, due to their compassionate nature, are they going to quit the battle? And if they quit, then the throne is menang tanpa bertanding, will go to the sons. Okay, so Sanjaya has been narrating everything. Of course, Sanjaya also mentioned in beginning, he said when the Krishna and Arjuna and Bhima, they blow their conch shell, what happened to the Kauravas? Do you all remember?
Their moral.
Their fear.
When they blow the conch shell, when Krishna blow the conch shell, Arjuna blow the conch shell, Bhima blow his poundra, what happened to the Kauravas? What they felt? The heart.
Their heart was struck with fear.
What is that word? Do you remember? Shattered, right?
Shattered.
So that, yes, that is an indication Sanjaya is already giving Dhritarashtra. See, when the Kauravas blew the conch shell, that didn't happen. Of course, Sanjaya did not say because that didn't happen. But Sanjaya described that when these Pandava side, they blew the conch shell, the hearts of the Kauravas were shattered. So he's giving indications already. Actually, later, Sanjaya also give other indication. There are 5 to 7 signs of victory, like Hanuman on the flag of Arjuna's. There's a flag on Arjuna's chariot. So on that flag, there's Hanuman's picture. So that is one sign of victory, because previously there was war against Ravana, and Hanuman was there, and the Supreme Lord was there as Lord Ram. So when Hanuman was present in that battle, Lord Ram won the battle. So now Lord Hanuman is sitting on the chariot of Arjuna. So which means that is an indication of a victory. And then the chariot driven by Krishna, Arjuna's chariot, is donated by God Agni. Okay, which means it can fight in all directions. Okay, something like that. And then he has quiver. The quiver is unending, infinite. The quiver keeps coming. Okay, what else? Of course, Krishna is sitting with him, and that is the ultimate sign of victory. And there are a few more, I forgot. Okay, so these are the signs of victory. So only one we say yet, when they blow the conch shell, it shattered the hearts of Kaurava. Okay, so that was an indication Sanjaya gave in the beginning, and now Sanjaya is giving his opinion that no, that's not going to happen. Okay, Kauravas is not going to win. But how Sanjaya builds his description is this way. He describes Krishna and Arjuna by using two terms. What are those?
Master of
Mystic and
mystics.
Master of all mystics. This is
Supreme
Yogeshwara. Yeah. Yoga Ishvara, master of all mystics. Okay.
And supreme archer.
Yes. Dhanurdhara. See the second line. Huh? Dhanurdhara.
Supreme archer, yeah.
Okay.
Always certainly be opulence.
Okay. Why? Because Arjuna is expert in firing arrows, and Arjuna is the best student of who? Do you know who is Arjuna's teacher?
Dronacharya.
Dronacharya. Very good. Okay. And Dronacharya knew that Arjuna will kill him. Yet a true guru will still teach that art of that. Okay, so that's what happened. And then whenever there is Yogeshwara and whenever there is Dhanurdhara, what is present? What are present?
Victory, opulence.
This is Master of Mystics. This is Supreme Archer. What are present there?
Opulence.
Opulence.
Victory. Extraordinary power and morality.
Morality. Yes. Oops. Sorry. Okay. So we are done Yogeshwara. We have done Dhanurdhara. Then we go through this. Okay. Opulence. Now, sons of Dhritarashtra also have some opulence. But who is Lord Krishna? Who is his spouse? Who is his consort? Opulence means fortune, right? Richness, wealth.
Lakshmi,
Yes. So what is another name for Mother Lakshmi, Goddess Lakshmi?
goddess of wealth.
Goddess of wealth, goddess of fortune. So if he has goddess of fortune next to him, so can you imagine? Krishna has all the opulence in full. Remember the 6 opulences. Okay, he has all the opulence in full. So wherever there is Krishna, you will have opulence. All right. Next, victory. Okay, and because Lord Krishna is on the side of Arjuna, and with all the indications that I have mentioned earlier, Arjuna is on the chariot and the on the flag and the chariot and the conch shell shattering the hearts of the Kauravas. This all indication of victory to the Pandavas side. So there cannot be victory on the other side. This is all indication of Sanjaya. Okay, he's prophesying what's going to happen. Okay, extraordinary power. Okay, of course, some of the Dhritarashtra sons are great fighters, but they cannot be equal to Lord Krishna's power. What is that opulence that Krishna has in full in this sense out of the 6? Who remembers? Do you all remember the 6 opulences?
Strength, beauty, renunciation. Strength, beauty, renunciation.
Knowledge.
Knowledge, yes.
Knowledge.
2 more, right?
Wealth.
Okay, well.
Fame, is it?
Fame, yes. Okay, so out of this 6, extraordinary power, referring to which one?
Strength.
Yes, so the Dhritarashtra sons may have some strength, but they are not equal to Lord Krishna. Morality. What do you think about morality? Why Sanjaya used the word morality here? Okay, last question for chapter 18. Based on all the knowledge that you have received right from this Bhagavad Gita, why Sanjaya used this word morality?
Is it to mean dharma?
Okay. Why Sanjaya used morality? What does it got to do with Bhagavad Gita or this Mahabharata war? Why morality?
That is what started the war, right?
Can
Because
you
the
elaborate?
Kauravas, because the Kauravas, they cheated the Pandavas of the land, and they also ashamed Draupadi. And then they tried to kill them many times. And then and then they tried to also expose them when they did that 1 year Vanavasa. Like trying to expose them so they will go back to the forest forever and they don't have to give the...
Wow, very nice. So they tried their best. All these are truly not virtuous of them to do that. Yes, morality. Dhritarashtra's sons don't have any of these quality. They don't have morality. Okay, they insulted Draupadi. They ruined the chastity of Draupadi. So that is immoral. And of course, all the information the Katini Mataji shared. So already they have been banished to the forest, and they try to burn their. They try to build their house made of wax, and then they try to burn it to try to kill them. So they are totally aggressive. So because the Dhritarashtra sons do not have that, and wherever there is Krishna and Arjuna, you have all this, and this is an indication that so with this, Sanjay has already declared the result of the war. Okay, so in this way, Sanjay is telling the Dhritarashtra, your son's not gonna win the battle, no way. Okay, so the result is declared already. It's like a spoiler alert, like that. Okay, so Krishna and Arjuna cannot be defeated, and you have no hope for victory. So this is what Sanjay is telling. So that's how the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Okay, so let's recap chapter 18. What did we learn in the beginning? Chapter 18. We covered 2 items under the 3 modes. What are those? Do you all remember?
Spirit, soul.
Knowledge and happiness.
Knowledge in 3 modes. Okay, let's cover knowledge in mode of goodness only for now. What is knowledge in the mode of goodness? Yes, Param Prabhu, just now you gave me the answer.
Yeah.
Everybody?
Everybody is equal, and all have spirit, soul.
Yes, undivided spiritual nature. Okay, the next item.
Passion.
No. I mean, after knowledge, what we covered?
Happiness. 3 modes.
Happiness. Okay, can we just discuss on the goodness? How does it show? What is in the beginning? What is at the end? Do you remember that?
Start with poison and nectar at the end.
Okay. And then what does it give? This
Bring joys and destroy sorrow.
Okay. What else?
Awakens one's self-realization.
Yes, very good. Okay, so I repeated this mistakenly. All right. Okay, poison first and this nectarian. The symptom or result is brings joy, destroys sorrows. It's a symptom of purity of intellect. Ultimately, it gives us self-realization. And yes, and then we saw 3 kinds of knowledge. So what is the topmost? We may not cover all that. What is the topmost? What is the topmost?
More confidential knowledge.
Most confidential.
Most confidential knowledge. So what is the essence of most confidential knowledge? Do you remember the verse now?
Surrender to Bhagavan.
Okay, before that.
You're my dear friend.
No. Similarity between 9.34 and 18.65, I think.
Pure devotion.
Do you remember the 4 symptoms? 4 process or 4 characters?
Worship Krishna.
Worship him, be
what is
his
the first
devotee.
one? Mana. Mana means mind.
Think
of me.
Always think of me. Bhava Mad Bhakto means?
Become my devotee.
Become my devotee.
Okay. Then what else?
Offer your homage to me.
Worship me.
Yeah, worship me.
Worship
And
me.
then
Offer your homage.
offer your homage unto me. After that, what Krishna promised?
Without fail, you
Come to me.
You will
come to him. You go to
You
him.
Why
come to
Krishna
me
is
without
promising
fail.
this?
Because you are my
Because you're my
friend.
dear friend.
Yes, very good. Okay, now comes the second one, very important one. Jai Silan Prabhu. I think it was you who gave the answer just now. Brinda Mataji, would you like to try? What is that instruction that Krishna gives?
Pure devotion.
Very
Pure
important.
devotion.
He says, abandon all varieties of religion and
Surrender to him.
Surrender to me.
what Krishna promised.
Deliver you from sinful reaction.
And then
Do not fear.
do not fear. Ma Suchaha. Okay, so we are done with that. Now we are going to recap Arjuna's realization and Sanjaya's realization. What is Arjuna's realization?
Away from ignorance and
All
illusion.
its illusion has disappeared.
Yes,
You regain memory.
Gained his memory.
Yes.
Firm and free from doubt.
Yes.
And
Prepare
Firmly.
to act. Prepare to act.
Whatever Krishna says, surrender to
Very
Krishna.
good.
Follow
Prepare
what
to act.
Krishna says.
Yes. Yes. Very good. Very good. Okay. Sanjaya's conclusion.
Where
Where
Krishna,
there's
Krishna and Arjuna. Sorry, God.
Yes, into great souls.
Okay. Can you describe the characters that Sanjaya used?
Master of all mystics and supreme archer.
Yes.
Yes. Yogeshwara and Dhanurdhara. Master of mystics and supreme archer. So if they are there, so what?
There'll be
Be
opulence,
opulence, there'll be
victory,
victory, extraordinary power, and morality.
Very good. On point, 100%. Okay, so very good. This is the conclusion. We just covered knowledge and happiness, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan realization. Glories of Bhagavad Gita. Please remember, you all can be teachers as well. So please share the knowledge. And this is ultimate conclusion of Gita. This is very, 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 very important. Unconditional loving surrender. Okay, last slide reading. Who wants to read? I don't know if anybody give name. Kartini
Me,
Mataji. Yeah, yes.
The importance of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is very strongly stressed in the second canto, first chapter, verse 11 of Srimad Bhagavatam in the following way. Sukadeva Goswami tells Maharaja Parikshit, my dear king, if one is spontaneously attached to the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it is to be understood that he has attained the highest perfectional stage. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So who is Sukadev Goswami? We did this narration yesterday, right? Who is Sukadev Goswami?
Vyasa Maharshi's son.
Yes, Vyasadev's son. What did Vyasadev wrote? What did Vyasadev write?
Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah, Bhagavata, Mahabharata. Yes,
yeah.
Bhagavad Gita is part of the Mahabharata. Okay. Who's sitting on the throne?
Sukadeva Goswami.
Who is sitting on the floor?
Maharaja Parikshit.
Very good. Okay, so how many days Sukadeva Goswami delivered the Bhagavad Gita?
7.
7 days. Wow, very good. Okay, so the importance of chanting here is strongly stressed. So keep chanting and stay with us. This is Bhagavatam. Okay, let's chant. Who wants to chant?
I will chant.
Yes, Prabhu. Go ahead.
I'll just 2 verse by 2 verse.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare. Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hari Bol.
Are you all camera ready? Can we take a photo?